Here we are, Greg. We are up to episode 11 today, so awesome to be back here again. And just for our episode for today, before I get into it, is we are Win the Mind, Win the Day, and the quality of your relationships determines the quality of your life. So yeah, good to see you, Greg.
Yeah, you too, Willie.
And we'll just get straight into this with question number one.
Yeah.
Why are relationships one of the biggest contributors to our happiness?
Oh, it's really, I think, especially for me, I really enjoy it. It gives you comfort, it gives you certainty, and it gives you that, it gives you that fullness that really, that that a person like me really enjoys, having that companionship and somebody to share with all the time. So there's lots of different things that help somebody, that most probably covers you when you're at times when you're not feeling good. You can share and change, help you look at things in a different perspective when you're by yourself and with no one. That's not always easy to do that. So it's sharing, really.
Yeah, awesome. And on that, can someone be successful but still feel lonely?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, just because of those things. A lot of successful people end up very busy, but they're filling their business part of their life, and they're doing all their things that they, occupying, that they're most probably very good at, their skills and that are very strong at, but their relationship isn't there, and so they miss out a lot in that part of their life that's really important. So, some people can get through without it, but some people struggle.
Yeah.
And they wonder why they struggle. They're successful, they've done it, they've got everything, they seem to be, to a lot of people, very happy in the way of success and all the toys and all the fun and all the parties and travel and all these things. But inside them, there's a sadness because they haven't got somebody to share that with at a deeper level.
Huge, and I obviously can relate to that just through the community stuff and being so busy everywhere else, and sometimes you can take for granted your own relationships, and whether it's with your kids, your family, extended family, friends even. There are other relationships that can be sort of left aside, and if you don't nurture anything in life, well, naturally you do lose those relationships. So on to that next part then. How much does our relationship with ourselves affect every other relationship?
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. That's what we talk about nearly every week. It's so important that I keep talking about getting to know yourself. When you know who you are and understand yourself and feel love for yourself, see, there's the best relationship that you can have. Is love for yourself. Now, that's not conceit. That's not arrogance, and that's not ego. This is a sincere belief and understanding of who you are. And when you have that love and belief in yourself, so many other things you're shielded against. You're shielded against the outside world that can come and harm you. But when you have that strong love and belief in who you are and your purpose in life and why you're here, that gives you such a strong borderline that not many people or not many things can get into that. So it's important to have that real relationship with yourself.
Yeah.
And then, of course, if you have a partner or family or friends or community, as you're well aware of, Willie, community is a relationship as well.
Yeah, so I forgot what I was about to say on that one, but it was like, I lost it. No, I'll come back to that. I'll come back. It'll come back to me. But with our next question then, because that was like, how much does our relationship with ourselves? Oh, that's what it was. So, we've got phone calls and all sorts coming through, or messages coming through. But I've been lucky enough to be around you and other people in my life as well that can make me aware and make me, help me to learn and become aware of my behaviors, my patterns, my paradigms. And it's so good to get to know yourself and to try to understand why you've been made this way that you are, and why you react to certain things. And so I've been very lucky to have someone like yourself, Greg. And for those others out there that might not have those kind of people, I highly suggest to get in touch with people like yourself, Greg. I mean, it is a bit of a promotion for yourself, but you do have your free webinars that you do run on a Wednesday night here in New Zealand time. And I think it's important for some people just to reach out or to connect if they are having any sort of struggles in their lives, which most people do in some capacity, but to be able to have a professional like yourself to help them become aware of where things might have been created or come from, or why you're getting the results that you're getting or not getting the results that you're getting. So I think this is a really good moment for people to reach out, to find someone like yourself, or come in and just have a chat with you, Greg, and just get the ball rolling so they can learn about who they really are, because that's where I am right now. And I'm just so grateful for these last 3 years or so that I've got to know Greg, but now it's starting to really get to know myself on a deeper level and why my behaviours and my patterns. So it's very important, yeah.
The power of the relationship, though, it's interesting, though, Willie. You know, being a sports person yourself, you know that if you've got things in the way, if you're not performing at your best, and nutrition isn't, you've been eating the wrong food, and you know all those things that it can interfere with your performance.
Yep.
Of being the best athlete you can be out there. Or otherwise it could be sports. Like I've got a young girl that's racing sprint cars and that, and she knows that all the different things on that track, you know, can interfere if you've got to know what you're doing and learn more about how the track performs, how the car performs, how the team performs. And when it comes to relationships, and especially that one that you just asked before about yourself, that's why it's important to find out more about yourself. You've got to find out if you're not performing in the way whatever you want to do, whether it's success in life, whether it's relationships or whatever is going on, you need to find out what is not working right in you at the moment. And a lot of it is sabotaged by old beliefs, old habits, every single human being on this planet has this program put in at a very young age. And there are certain things that happen, and some of them are not very nice things that happen to people. So we do a compromise, and we do that compromise in a very locked up way. I was thinking about it the other day about how to always explain this, because it's so important to me, of this understanding about who you are. But I'd say most people, it's like we've got a vault. We've got this safe that's locked up inside us, and we've got all these very tender moments sitting in there, and we're doing everything we can to compromise for those things. Now the funny thing is, but those things that we're protecting, that we have in that big safe, are things that really don't matter anymore. They're well past. They were very important. They were tender at the time when things happened. They were you had a very vulnerable age. You didn't understand what was going on, and they actually put in some big habits and beliefs into your system. You've locked them away. But right now, to be honest, if you opened up that safe and had a look, the truth is that they're not worth anything anymore. They're useless. Your beliefs, who you are as a person, you've grown, your strength, your habits, and what you've been doing, and all the experiences you've had as you've got older, have now disregarded those things. And yet, here we are, no matter what age you are still hanging on to them, and they are compromising you moving forward of something that you really want today.
Yeah.
Something that you really want to achieve today. Somebody you really want to be with, or somewhere, or holidays, or whatever it may be. You're not doing it because you've got this certain little thing in the back that is holding you back, and that you don't even know why you're not doing it. You just need somebody, and that's where we come into. When you come and talk to us, we start finding out, what is it you really want? You've got to find out. And a lot of people are not getting what they really want because they don't believe they can have it. And the truth is they absolutely can. When they find out a few of those little things that they're hanging on to mean nothing to them anymore, or you can find out what this byproduct of that, the strength that you've got and why you've got that strength now, is really the one thing that could change within a moment and turn you around and move you straight forward in your success or whatever that may be.
Yeah, because I've noticed that in some of our stories and your stories, and it could have been something, just a comment or your perception of something when you're a child that you felt neglected or you felt ignored or not listened to, and those things can trigger something and become your belief and affect the rest of how you have relationships in your life, whether it's through work, whether it's just meeting someone for the first time. And that can have that play on effect.
Yeah.
And it might take people, some people might never be aware or discover it, but it might take people a long time to realize how far back and what it was. But that's where those conversations where I've had with you, Greg, and it all does come back to your own sort of inner child, most of it. And it was great discovering things about myself as well. But sometimes you do have to poke the bear a little bit, and you're really good at, okay, but why do you think, and then I'm sort of questioning myself, and am I just trying to tell a story that I want to tell, or what's the real truth here, and what's something, and it's really amazing when you start to go deep on yourself and try to find out where these things have been built from. That's a very special self journey, and hey, it is a personal journey, and you hold a lot of personal knowledge of people, but that's the great thing, is it's so confidential. You feel safe in this environment talking with you, Greg, and your wisdom and your experience to make people like myself be self-aware, having that awareness. And once you do, because at the start you do just naturally put up blocks and barriers, and I'm not going to share this with Greg, I'll just sort of try to go around the back door here and just try to avoid something here. But it's like you're not poking, but you're doing it with kindness, and because at the end of the day you want to find out the real details. So yeah, it's very special.
It's interesting. It's the byproduct of those things too that you're talking about. Sometimes you think, oh, it's what happened back then, but it's not. Sometimes it's the byproduct of what you now have to avoid that sort of thing. That actually now is the problem that's stopping you moving forward. So it's in a way, like you would understand. It's like if you've got a stone in your boot and you're playing rugby, you know damn well that you physically can feel that, so it's there.
Yeah.
But imagine if you've got stones in there that you're not even aware that's there, that's holding you back. And that's what we do, is we find out those for you and help you. Because at the end of the day, it's not really about back then, it's really about what you want now, and you want to achieve something now. And if it's not happening for you right now and you don't know why, this is a good time to start talking about it, because the more you know about yourself, the more you understand, the more you actually then can move forward and do what you really were here to do. I mean, it's unbelievable. You have unlimited potential, and you don't even know what's waiting around the corner for you. And at the end of the day, that's who you most probably really are here to be. And you're not aware of it right now. These things change. Like I say with me, anybody that knew me, 30, 40 years ago, they would say, no, surely that's not Greg Jelas talking there. Where does he learn that stuff from? Who I know what he was like. And the point is they don't know who I am, because I've found out a lot more about myself and studied a lot more information from very, intelligent people that have researched, and that has gone back for hundreds of years actually on research on human potential. And I've absolutely entrenched in that information, and that has changed who I am. And like I've said before, before I was 40, you wouldn't get me in a discussion, anything like we're talking about right now. I'd have laughed it all the way down the road and told you to get the hell out of it. And that's what I mean, is there's so many people that are like that right now that have no idea just around the corner. There's a whole new world waiting for you.
Oh yeah, I appreciate this. It's always good, because obviously I am aware, and I've been hearing from you for a few years now, and it's just like sometimes it's a real slap in the face, or it's a aha moment, and once you start to be, you just got to leave that ego to the side and actually look, he's not doing this, he's not trying to offend me, he's actually trying to understand so that you can then understand. And then it's not to dig up the past, it's just to find out what's the patterns that have been created. And then, okay, so what's the life and what does success look like to you individually? And what's your success? And how can you start to have those goals and have that focus? And then it's about getting that direction.
Well, it's just like your coach we talk about often, Willie. You know, your coach picked you from the under-20s and put you in the senior team. You thought, what on earth is he doing? You know, how can I play with those big guys? And yet he had the foresight. He saw something you didn't see in yourself, but he saw a massive opportunity for the team, and it paid off. It paid off big time. When he got you there, you found out about yourself, but at the same time as he got a great reward from it, because he put a gain into his team by adding you in there, and it was something you had no idea.
No.
You thought, oh well, I'm good, but I'm not ready for that yet. He says, no, you're ready, Willie. We're going to throw you in there right now. And
thank you, John McKittrick. A bit of a name drop there, but yeah, put him on the spot right there.
Absolutely. See, a good coach, and he saw it, and he did a lot for the Silverdale Club for doing that, for taking potential. He did get a bit of a name for pulling people out of town into the local area, but hey, that's what Silverdale needed at the time, and that's what started lifting it into a different area. So, and that's what a good coach does. He sees potential, and he puts it together into the right team, and then
for my case, maybe he didn't see potential, but maybe he didn't have much of an option or a choice at the time, just with other players being injured. But he knew how to nurture. He knew how to give confidence and just to get me out there and just, I still remember the pre-match speeches from him, inviting around to his house to have breakfast with players in that space. So he knew how to work the environment, which was unreal for a young 18-year-old at the time.
Build trust. That's what it's all about. Build trust in your team.
It probably was a big gamble, but it did really pay off it. And sometimes you've got to throw the dice to actually have a chance of winning, and that's what he did, and that's what I did at the same time. And I took a risk and had an opportunity that did work in my favour, but that trajectory after that personally. But anyway, that's not about relationships for today. So our next question is, why do so many relationships slowly drift apart instead of ending suddenly?
I think people take it for granted. You know, we don't appreciate. That's why it's something that we always talk about. Most probably the first thing that we talk about when everybody comes and sees me is gratitude. Becoming aware of being grateful for what you have. You know, we so many people are wanting to get stuff, but a lot of people aren't grateful for what they got right now. And a relationship is easy to do that, because let's face it, when the honeymoon is first on, everybody's on their best behaviour. You know, we're trying our best to actually win that person. But then once we achieve that, the old ring on the finger, or the family starts growing, and that, it's easy to start forgetting about that and not using that, putting that into gratitude. Not saying thank you. I'm so happy and grateful that I have you as my partner, as you got my back, and I'm grateful that you're here. Unfortunately, we get on and we think, there's other things going on, and we get busy in other parts of our lives. This is what I talk about a lot of time about business, where people get busy being busy. Are they being productive? No, not really. They're just being busy, and relationships end up the same way. Everybody's busy about doing their own thing, and then they forget about why they actually get together. So, it's important that you just stop, and we hear a lot of it these days. They say date night, people to go and do that little bit of gratitude. Just take them out, spend time just together, and spend an evening and talk. Now, another thing... Funny enough that we're looking at one here, right here, Willie, is phones. You know, the amount of times you go to restaurants and where people are dating. And my trip to Sydney there a few weeks ago, I was just absolutely astonished. On the plane, on the trains, no matter where we travelled, when we went to restaurants.
Real guilty right now.
Here people are sitting there in relationships talking to their phones, and they got other people right beside them, and you say, well, what happens to relationships when they drift off? That happens.
Real world connection.
Right there, that happens. And we're in a world now with this type of thing that's easy for that to happen, to guide away to other things, be interested and forget about what we've already got, our relationship.
Yeah. Well, on that, being grateful for what you do have, because sometimes I'll do a bit of gratitude about what I've had, which is cool. But today, even in our business networking breakfast that we have at the surf club, which you're a part of today, I was sort of went in there, but head down sort of thing, and just one of the members, and we just opened the door to go out onto the deck, and it's like, well, look at this, what's about to happen with the sunrise coming. It wasn't coming yet, but you could just see the different changes in the colours in the sky and the clouds, but it was just such a calmness, and about 4 of us just went out on that deck and we just stopped there for a moment, and we're grateful. It's like, man, well, look what we do have. Look at this place that we live in. Look at the place where we are, the people around us. We can be grateful for very small things, because quite often the small things are the big things, I like to say. And it was a pure moment. It's like, yeah, you can have this and this happening in your life, but look at what's right here in front of you. If you actually open your eyes, open your ears, just take a moment, take a breath. And even just during this conversation now, I've just had a couple of breaths as well. But it's like, yeah, it's really good to just be in touch with the present and in that moment, like you just said. And those phones can be a massive distraction. I've seen it for a long time, and I've seen it within myself and my phones, but I've seen it in our relationships as well at home. Okay, I'll move into the next question. I do see, just around timing wise, how we're doing here. How important is, no, I'm just having a giggle to myself, but how important is communication? Like listening, understanding, not trying to win. So how important is communication?
Very important. Yeah. And again, not just with others, but with yourself. Communicate, listening, that it's not just chatter going on there. That's where meditation is a great thing. You, Willie, you go into the bush, you go down to the beach, you meditate. When you're in that state, you're in a meditating state of listening, and having to talk to yourself and that. So communicating is big. Relationships, it's a must. You really must communicate. I think that's a big killer of a lot of relationships. Not enough communication.
Yeah.
Not enough. This what we talk about, understanding, becoming aware. Well, you need to be understand your relationships and be aware of what's going on. Just keep a little close touch of knowing what's happening all the time, and everybody's happy and everybody's moving forward. So it is. It's good. Communication, doesn't matter where it is, it's always good. As you know, in community, the communication. We know, funny enough, this morning when we come across the bridge, I see a policeman talking to some person on the bridge there. Communicating to something that, I don't know what was happening, but at the same time, it could have been something that wasn't really good, where somebody was communicating maybe the wrong things inside their own head. So communication is very important in all areas.
Thank you. Okay, can trust be rebuilt once it's been broken? Yeah,
absolutely. That's like, when you say that, it's like a lot of people would find that hard. A lot of people would find that, I don't know. But the truth is I remember many years ago, and I wasn't very impressed at the time. I was with he was actually high up in the police, and he had an attitude, once a crim, always a crim. And that, I thought, well, that's not good, because I know Bob Proctor, through his teachings, or what we teach, is he actually got a prisoner out of jail, and he ended up working for Bob. Not only did he get him out of jail, he was in solitary confinement, and he was there for a long time. But through Bob's teaching and trust, and that got him out, and actually got him, he was never supposed to get a passport, and took him to another country and had him working with him in another country. So yeah, that trust can be absolutely changed, absolutely. And I mean, you're talking about, this guy was a pretty high. He was, like I say, he had been in solitary confinement for quite some time, meaning he wasn't anywhere near any other prisoner.
No.
So can that trust? Yeah, absolutely. Trust can be changed, but you got to have understanding to get that trust.
Yeah.
You got to, like people like me. I know things that I did once that you wouldn't trust me with, whereas now that I look at it now with absolute, just disgust in some of the things that I used to do at different times. And definitely, I understand now what was going on. I understand what the problem was. So the trust can definitely change when people start understanding who they are. So yeah, it definitely. So it doesn't really matter, a relationship or anything, whatever happens. There's a reason for things happening. And like we've talked about, and we've talked about here for weeks now, is if you if you're not aware of what's going on and why it was caused, and why you did something, and then you find out and become aware of it, well, then all of a sudden, are you going to do that again? More than likely never. When you understand, you're thinking, why the heck did I ever do that? I understand now why I did that.
Yeah.
I'm never going back
It's a
there.
fun learning lesson.
Absolutely.
It can definitely hit home and hit the gut, but it's one that it's the only way to evolve, to develop, and to become a better version of yourself, is having that awareness as well, that we keep coming back to. Okay, how do we become a better partner, parent, coach, or leader?
I think do what we've been talking about.
Yeah.
Really.
Get to learn about yourself.
Get to learn about yourself, but at the same time make that communication too, and also have that absolute appreciation. Always be grateful.
Yeah.
There's always, see, the interesting thing though, Willie, is there was always a honeymoon. No matter where that relationship was, there was a honeymoon where people fell in love, and they really enjoyed each other's company.
That can be in relationship with a spouse. It can be in relationship with a company, a business, an organization, friendships. It's all the same tone, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. It doesn't matter what it is. People do it with jobs. They love their job, and at the start, and then later on, they absolutely
fall out of that honeymoon period of their job.
Big time. And then they sabotage things in that job instead of moving on or finding out what's actually going on.
I'm sure this one so many people could relate to right now.
Yeah.
They're thinking, I loved this at the start, and then they got stale, or they stopped communicating, or they stopped working on themselves, or working with the people within that business organization. Yeah.
I think the big thing that you need to understand about that is we are growing. We're always growing. Now, a lot of people don't believe that they're growing with it. And like when I say they don't believe they're growing with it, they don't understand that we are continually changing. We're changing. Even though a lot of people don't like change, we are that's all this whole universe that we live in, this whole world we live in, is continuous change. Like I've said before, look in the mirror when you're 6 months old, and look in the mirror now.
Yeah.
It's not the same person, and people say I don't like change. Well, it's natural. It's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
And when people get into jobs and all that, sometimes things do change, and they want to keep it the same. Well, nothing stays the same. You've got to learn that, and you've got to learn that the more that you change and grow and better yourself and move on, the better opportunities are sitting out there waiting for you.
Oh, for sure. Oh, man, this topic could keep going, and we will be wrapping it up now, just with timing and other commitments coming on. But now I've even lost this little thing here. I'll just try to pull out one of these here just to finish. And this will be our last question. If someone wanted healthier relationships, what's one habit they could start today?
Just be kind.
Oh, nice.
Be kind. Be kind to themselves first. A lot of people aren't, but be kind to yourself, and then be kind to others, and you'll find the right person will just come along. And we talk about it. Bob talks about it used to show us. I've had people where they're looking for relationships. You know, they might be looking for a new relationship and they just can't find it. So what you do with that is get yourself a whiteboard or a piece of paper and then start writing down what are all the things that you would love in that person. Find out what that person is like and write them all down. Not what you don't want, everything that you would love about the person.
Yeah.
And that list can go quite large. And then start visualizing seeing that person being a part of your life. And then guess what? Before long, you'll wake up and there they are.
Oh, now I will say we'll have to round it up here, but thank you for today, mate. This is awesome subject for me personally, awesome episode, but I'm hoping that this one does relate with a lot of people out there, because relationships in whatever way that is, whether it's with their spouse, friend, family members, organizations, whatever it is, relationships are important no matter what. And so, yeah, massive thanks for today, Greg.
You're welcome.
We'll come back to this one, but if anyone else out there has any questions or any topics that they'd like us to start to talk about or discuss, or if anyone wants to come and join us or have some Q&As with us, come and join us on the show, and it'll be really good just to be able to have that.
Awesome, Willie.
Okay.
All right. Have a good week.
See you next week.